maybe we jump into something super relevant, which is I'm in Dubai right now.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I've been here 2 months. Last year I spent a couple months here. I've been coming back and forth for the last couple of years. And normally I'm in London. And I know you spend time in both cities. And yet both cities are major capitals in the world, and yet very, very different.
Yes.
From so many perspectives, and I'm assuming also from a dating and relationship perspective.
Absolutely.
And so let's jump in there.
Absolutely.
How is Dubai different than London?
Well, I would be interested in how you find it different. I would be interested in what you think is the main difference. What I found to be, when I see the markets, to be fair, certain behaviors are getting globalized because people who with money in London spend a lot of time in Dubai. So certain behaviors are getting globalized. But generally speaking, the standards are totally different. So in Dubai, it's very typical for a woman to expect men to pay her rent, to expect a really nice lavish restaurant, and men to expect a 10 out of 10 supermodel. It's very like high expectations on both ends. In London, it's low expectations on both ends. It's very much like everything is kind of low expectations because life in itself is not that exciting. Life is not that intriguing. It's not that exciting. So what I find the main key difference is why I think relationships last longer in the UK than they do in Dubai is Dubai, there's so many alternatives to being in a relationship. There's so many other ways to stimulate your life outside of a relationship. You can run on the beach, you can go to nice restaurants, you can meet new people. Being single is really fun. You can be on a boat. If you're not in a relationship, you can still have a great life. But in London or the UK, if you're not in a relationship, most of your days get dark by the time it's 4 o'clock. You're going straight home, going to the gym, and then getting ready for work. Without a partner, it feels very, very lonely and it feels very like empty. So I can see why people tend to be in more toxic relationships and that they're just settling in London. Whereas in Dubai, they're in more fleeting relationships that kind of are a bit more like transient because they can replace people quite quickly and easily, and their life itself is quite stimulating, so they don't need to invest in a relationship as much. So both of them have their flaws, but for different reasons.
That's really interesting.
What do you find?
Well, and again, like we were talking earlier about like just the energy levels in Dubai and London. And London, I always tell people, when I look around in Dubai, everybody is here intentionally.
Yes.
The woman who serves me coffee at Starbucks and the taxi driver, everybody comes here for a better life. And you could say they should be paid more or blah, 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 but everyone is having a better life here and they intentionally came here.
Yeah.
So the energy is like really high.
Well, the energy is of gratitude as well.
Yeah,
there's a general energy of gratitude and like an aura of happiness to some extent. I'm not saying I don't know the ins and outs, but there's a general gratitude to be here.
Whereas in London, I walk around and I'd say 4 out of 5 people are phoning it in. Like they're collecting a check. They don't really want to be there. They're grinding it out. And you feel this energy of this, And also it's a falling empire, right? Whereas maybe 200 years ago, you know, London was a rising empire.
Yeah.
And Dubai is a rising empire. And so it's got all this excitement and anticipation of where we're going, where everybody in London pretty much has to admit that it's worse than it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And 10 years from now, it's going to be worse than it is now.
Yeah.
It is.
And they make themselves feel better by saying, oh, but I would never want to live in Dubai. They've got slave labor. I would never want to live in Dubai. It's so shallow. But really, it's like there's slave labor, there's homelessness in London. There's so much going. I feel like a slave in London. I feel like I work and 40% goes to the government. I feel like a slave here. As soon as I land, I feel like £5 to park here, £5 to breathe here. Whereas I land in Dubai and it's like, oh, you're a tourist, here's a SIM card. Or, oh, welcome, here's this, here's that. There's a general hospitality as soon as you land in the Middle East that you'll never find in Western cultures, and in particular in London. There's a lack of hospitality because there is no abundance, unfortunately. The government takes everything from you. So I can see why people are like that. I can understand, because I've been there myself. I've been there totally myself, and now shifting to a more hospitable environment, I couldn't be more lucky.
Damn, Sadia, you're even wiser than I thought.
No,
it's true though. You're right, because when you land in London, it feels oppressing. And if you think about it, they're taking 40% of your income and they're delivering you dirty tube stops and an NHS where you can't get an appointment, and homelessness everywhere and bad police.
And I still can't accept things like ULEZ and things like these kind of charges where I'm just like...
Extra taxes.
And old cars have to pay to go drive around. But it's like they're already obviously poorer because they're driving their old cars, and you're taxing them for driving there. And I'm like, these poor people, no wonder they're hostile. I can completely understand it. So that's why I've got a bit of resentment towards London, only because I was told my whole life this is the best city in the world. Yeah. Best city, best city, best city. So I was like, okay, I'm in the best city. But why don't I feel it? And then when you move abroad, you realize that anywhere with good weather is better, for me personally.
How do you get out of a rat race? How do you create wealth not only for yourself, but also for the generations to come after?
I am absolutely amazed with the quality of companies that we're getting exposure to.
We go on to Zoom calls with the innovators and the folks who are building new applications in metaverse, blockchain, artificial intelligence, decentralized finance.
What's going on, everybody? Thumbs up if you can see me.
We are focusing on early stage investment.
And the quality of people that we're getting exposure to, whether it be Dan Tapiero with 1RT, Jason Ma from Open, Yatsu from Animoca.
It's been a phenomenal experience thus far. It has far exceeded my expectations.
We are focusing on cutting edge technologies.
I view it now as the best investment I've ever made. The upside I view is unlimited.
And as a retail investor, I would never get this exposure anywhere else outside of Investment Club.
See you in the investment club.
No, I think you have a good point, and I think your assessment of maybe men and women are probably correct. I would say women in London traditionally have not had to maybe go out of their way as much when it comes to, looks as maybe their equivalents in New York City or LA.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is. I would say, here, like you said, there's a lot of pretty girls. There's a lot of successful men, or at least people who at least pretend to be successful.
Very least.
That's a good effort.
Yeah.
It's like if you're a woman, you can at least pretend to be good looking too.
Yeah.
The effort is appreciated.
Yeah.
When I go to events, people really dress up.
Yeah.
They go out of their way. The women put on makeup, the men dress up, which getting a man to dress up in London is a very hard thing to do.
Yeah, you won't
and
see it.
everyone makes an effort.
Yeah.
And it's always surprising. It's noticeable to me. And in London, I would hang out in places where people would normally dress up.
Yeah.
And I still notice it here.
I always felt like overdressed in London. People always almost make you feel bad for being well dressed. Right. They're always like, "Oh, where are you going? Why are you always in heels?" It's almost like they don't want you to be your best potential. And even sometimes online, they're like, "Oh, take your makeup off," because they're so used to being a lower level of themselves. Whereas when you go to, it's not for everybody. This is why I think if you meet girls who hate Dubai, chances are it's girls that feel intimidated by the level of beauty standards here. Whereas, and similarly, if you meet men that hate Dubai, it'll be they're intimidated by the financial standards of the men here. Okay. It's usually people who are intimidated. And as a result, they'll say, "Oh, I don't like it. And they'll say, "Oh, shallow. But really, you can meet very like-minded people. It's just that those like-minded people still live an elevated life. So it's very competitive. And those people that I always find that said, "Oh, I hate it. It's so shallow. It's so not me." It's people who literally couldn't compete in those two areas, looks or money. And they kind of filter themselves out.
That's interesting. I was just talking with a guest earlier about money. It's interesting about this city is that since there's so much money, I feel like people are looking at what you have besides money.
Yeah.
And so I would say to a man who might feel intimidated of being here is that actually your character and your work and your reputation and your vision is maybe more important here than it is in London. Because here, like I said, there is a lot of money around, so that doesn't delineate you.
And same, there's a lot of beauty. So those things alone aren't actually enough. Right. Yeah, it's nice because if that's all you have is beauty as a girl, you'll come to Dubai and be like, every girl is beautiful. Now I've got to actually be a nice person. And same thing with men. It's like, if I only have money, it's like, but every man has a lot of money here. So it actually forces you to work on your networking skills, your independent skills, like just other skills if you want to. There is a really shallow side to it. There's a super shallow side to Dubai, which I completely understand. But if you ignore that part and just take the high standards of living, there's nowhere better.
It's so counterintuitive, Sadia.
Yeah.
That a place that from the outside looks like the ultimate in bling and the ultimate, shallow place actually has a lot more depth going on.
I find it really deep. I found so many great connections out here. I love the Islamic kind of culture as well here. I know it's kind of disappearing a bit with the influx, but I generally find, for me, it's a city that suits my personality really well. Does it suit yours?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not for everybody, but it definitely suits my personality to a T. I couldn't be happier, and I feel lucky all the time that I live here. And I'm always worried, if they ever make me live somewhere else, I don't know where I go. I can't even go on holiday in peace because I'm comparing everything to Dubai. I'm like, Dubai would never do this. Dubai would never do that. So the safety that everything I know I could go on, I don't want to bore your viewers, but it really is an incredible city. And we can, as other countries, you can learn a lot from its hospitality if you want to compete with it.
Yeah, very much so. I just took my boys to Kenya for the week for safari, and I got to really see a country in Africa and how they live.
Yeah.
And a lot of those people come here to work. And so you really see a contrast of what they can get at home versus what they could get here or build here. And it's just an amazing jewel kind of.
Yeah, we're very lucky.
In the Middle East. I feel lucky to be here too.
Yeah, we're very, very.
Hey, I know investing in crypto is scary. It takes a real leap of faith because there are so many scams, rug pulls, and bad actors out there. It's a dangerous business, which is why 95% of people lose all their money. Well, that's why I created the London Real Investment Club, so you can access the hottest deals on the planet and use the crypto bull market to create the generational wealth that you deserve. Join my team of over 100 people from around the world that are making millions of dollars behind the scenes investing in blockchain, AI, Web3 games, DeFi, Bitcoin, and more. Don't miss out. Click the link below to book a call with one of my team now. But hurry, this bull market will end soon.
I know investing in crypto can be scary. That's why you gotta join the investment club. Pull the trigger. Let's do this.